Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick tips and info video for Pokemon, and that is explaining physical, special, and status moves in Pokemon. These are the three types of categories of moves that a Pokemon can learn. They have varying degrees of usefulness, as the majority of the moves potential lies within the particular Pokemon themselves, but this is just a general overview of them. To start off, let's look at physical moves. Just like the name suggests, these are moves that the move name, description, or even animation will reference using the body in some of many different ways that involves physical activity for the most part. Notable Pokemon for this category would be the likes of Machamp, a Pokemon that by looks and Dex lore relies on its strength to survive in the Pokemon world, but lore doesn't mean too much. All that counts is base stats. Physical moves come with this crazy star with many sides as the icon, and offensively, the base stat these moves operate with is the attack stat. Simple enough. Defensively, the stats to fend off physical attacks is the defensive stat, meaning during the damage calculations, the in-game formula that we won't discuss because I'm not a math major and it's not too important to players, we'll calculate the damage using those two components if, let's say, Machamp used Ice Punch on Scrafty. Special moves is categorized with a circular icon pattern with multiple circles in it. The opposite of physical moves, these generally use the mind, life energy, or some other hippie mumbo jumbo to generate attacks. Imagine Gardevoir as a prime example. It is a Pokemon that doesn't have bulky muscles, or forget it. You get the point. Describing special attacks is difficult. Nonetheless, they occupy the special attack slot offensively, and the stat they use to defend them off is special defense, or as I like to call it, SPDEF. Finally, there are status moves. These are not categorized as attacks because they are usually used in a defensive or stat modifying manner. They come in a yin-yang type of pattern, but they don't hold the same properties as the first two. For example, the move Growl doesn't hurt the opponent, but only lowers the attack. There are some status moves that can hurt the opponents, like Toxic or Will-O-Wisp, but we are trying to keep it short and simple here. The gist here is that status moves can be used to alter Pokemon stats offensively, defensively, or alter the battlefield as a whole. The variety is too wide to explain, so all I can say is every status move's potency and varies by their description and how it is used. Now that you know the three categories of moves, you can determine how to build teams and the Pokemon that occupy them. Offensively, as a player, you can now have an easier time picking moves for your Pokemon because you can do research on their base stats and let it determine which is the best stat for battling. Machamp, as we stated earlier, has a base physical attack of 130 compared to his measly base 65 special attack. So if you want the move mileage out of Machamp, it is highly recommended to use his physical attack. Gardevoir is the opposite with 125 special attack and 65 physical. So if you wanted to get the most power out of it, it makes more sense using special attacks over physical. There are some Pokemon who have even attacking stats and can be used as what is known as a mixed attacker. Colossal is a Pokemon who doesn't have the best offensive stats, suggesting it's more of a bulky Pokemon, but since it has an even attacking stat, it could be used with a wider move pool combination since the results will have similar outcomes. There are some Pokemon who may have higher attacking stats than the other, but their movesets suggest otherwise. Look at Flygon, for example, a Pokemon with base 100 attack and 80 special attack. You would think it is primarily used as a physical Pokemon, but with the richer variety option for special attacks, many would prefer to use the weaker stat since it opens more opportunities for not only Flygon, but the team as a whole. Defensively, with this knowledge of stats, you can use this to plan accordingly on how to fend off attacks from the opponent. While you can't necessarily use the knowledge to force your opponent to defend a particular way, you can use it to look for exploits such as, hey, they have a strong Pokemon, but they have a weak special defense stat. Maybe I should use a special attacker against that particular Pokemon in the matchup. And that is it, everybody. Hopefully this was short, sweet, and informative. Now you guys know the differences between the three different categories of moves, so hopefully you have an easier time building your teams and getting the most mileage out of your Pokemon. Other than that, guys, I'm about to get out of here. Let me know down below any questions you may have or anything topic-wise you may want me to cover, and I'll try to do that. Gates full open. I guess gotta close them. So